But we're going to. I want us to delve into a very important matter. Just this morning, we heard that on the Accra, Tema stretch, someone had been knocked down by a vehicle, and we've heard of all that we've been seeing. I mean, well, right now, the bit is that there's a lot of carnage on our roads. I mean, through Easter, about 28 people lost their lives and all of that. Parliament's role in ensuring that there's safety on our roads, it's a very important bit. And I'd just like us to delve into that. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the Special Prosecutor position. I'd wanted to switch, but let's look at the Special Prosecutor position, where Kissi Agyebeng has been, put forward for that position. Of course, the President is yet to give his final consent on the matter. I'll start with you, Mutala. Quick thoughts, quick reactions.
Well, first and foremost, I see him as a young man of that age, 42 years. I would have been the happiest person that such a person occupies that. But some genuine and legitimate concerns have been raised about his relationship with Gabi Ochiridako, who happened to be, I'm told, a personal lawyer to Gabi. And when Gabi is cited by some of the fraudulent deals that happened by this government at Japan and those things. I mean, one of the responsibilities of the Special Prosecutor is to look at political corruption. Now, when you have a relationship with the actors in this business of politics, where there have been series of allegations, for which reason you may be needed to prosecute those cases, I think that it becomes worrying that such a person even accepted.
Just to clarify, you're not suggesting Gabi is corrupt, are you?
No, that's not.
Okay. All right.
You see, they told us criminals. They called us thieves. Now, even making a statement, I shouldn't even suggest that he's corrupt.
No, I'm just asking you to clarify.
I'm saying that they called NDC, all of us thieves. You people didn't ask them that. Now, even making a statement, you are telling me I'm not suggesting he's corrupt. I'm saying that they have. Tell this gentleman to allow me to speak. I can do that too. If I do that, this program will continue. So I'm saying that such a person. And in any case, I have seen a video. I've seen a video where a serious allegation is made against him by the person everybody in MPP fears, Kennedy Japan, who said that this man defends criminals. I believe you might have seen that video. I mean, these are genuine.
I haven't actually.
I have seen the video. I have it in my phone. I can give it to you and let your station play it. I'm saying that I have it here. If you want, let me just forward it to your producer.
Let's have the discourse. I'm saying that,
so what you have, what is in his response to him over the analysis and the gentleman, the analysis journal, the one who was killed. He, in response, yes, apparently he was also representing the Tiger Eye, and then he made some statements about Ken, and then Ken responded, described him as someone who is defending criminals. And I'm saying that these are serious matters. So when matters like that are raised, I think that it becomes worrying.
Is there anybody who is whistle clean? Because others have spoken about other things to do with he has a lot of legal qualifications. He's even an academia, but like Adam Sinanu raised yesterday, in terms of the graft fight, he may not be in that space. He may not have been fighting in that space. Does that detract from his experience and what he can do?
What our Constitution says, or our law says about conflict of interest, is not just the commission of crime, but the remotest possibility of a crime to be committed. And I think that this one is beyond this remotest possibility. This is a person who has a direct ties with someone who is being alleged to be engaged in a lot of deals that are deemed or considered by many in this country to be fraudulent deals. And I'm saying that those issues demand some investigation and possibly prosecution.
Representing someone, being counsel for someone is something that you can cease to do at a point in time. If he wants to take up the position, it means that he would have put in place certain mechanisms he wouldn't be representing these people.
Not when people think that such people and such dealings ought to be looked at. That is not what. You see, when Mr. Martin Amidu was appointed, I don't think that anybody raised questions about his relationship and ties with actors in this political business. Nobody raised. I raised issues about him, and I said that he wasn't fit to be the Special Prosecutor because of certain reasons. But none of the reasons we raised had to do with his ability to do the work. None had to do with his ties with the executive arm of government at that time. People are talking about this relationship. For someone to take you as his lawyer and his dealings, it tells you there is so much. So just such a person on that basis, right? I really don't think that he will be qualified.
So let's cut to the chase. For you, as far as you are concerned, as matters stand now, Kissi Agyebeng is unfit to be special prosecutor?
Absolutely unfit because of those reasons that have been raised. And if I were him, on the basis of the fact that this monumental, alleged fraudulent and corrupt act that perpetrated by this government and the relationship he has with some actors within this government, I thought that he would have just said, Mr. President, if it is true, because we are not, it hasn't been confirmed yet. Thank you very much, but I really think that I want to just remain in my private, practice. And more so, when you have a sitting member of parliament, a leading member of the same government, describe him as a lawyer who defends criminals.
Let me hear from you, Hussaini. First of all, when you look at his qualifications and everything that has been said about him, do you think he is fit for the position?
You see, this appointment is being done based on the provisions of an Act of Parliament, an Act passed in Parliament, which stipulates
the Special Prosecutor, Office of the Special Prosecutor, who
qualifies to be appointed to head the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And nobody is telling me that, oh, this guy, I think there was a number of years he should have been at the bar, some level of legal and some expertise that he needs. And nobody is saying that he is not qualified based on the provisions of the Act. I think it's Act 959 or something like that. Nobody is saying that. People are going well beyond that and mentioning his age.
Well, that matter has been debunked. People are talking about conflict of interest, which Murtala has just mentioned. People are talking about the fact that he doesn't have experience in fighting graft or in coming forward with these issues. With Martin Amidu, it was very different.
At the appointment of Martin Amidu, a lot of Ghanaians were happy that the president had bent backwards and brought in somebody typically not on his political side of the divide.
And did what to him?
But we all saw the work of Martin Amidu.
Just make your point.
Martin Amidu was in office and he virtually poo-pooed every attempt of government to fight corruption.
Really?
Yes. Because he did it from 2017. From 2017, there were budgetary allocation to ensure that the office was actually going.
But you do realize,
did not do what he had to do to ensure that the office was
budgetary allocations. He claims that he did not get some of the money. In fact, in some instances, he didn't have access to what was promised.
There were instances, even the selection of an office from 2017. To 2020, he made sure that he put so many impediments that the office was on.
So let's leave Martin Amidu alone and come to Kissi Agyebeng.
People are looking at this office as if the persona of the head of that office is what we have to deal with. But it's a whole office on its own.
Interesting.
It's a whole office on its own. We saw what Martin Amidu did.
Interesting.
This is a man who could give an excuse and say, because one candidate was going for an elections, and there was a case pending, he was not going to, and then on the flip, he was using some very dangerous words on another candidate who was also going for an election.
So at the time of the appointment, at the time of the appointment of Martin Amidu, if let's say he were representing some member of the NDC who had been, said to be implicit in some form of corrupt activity, how would you have responded to that?
He was a lawyer. And lawyers can take up cases as and when as they choose. When situation demands that they let go of cases, they would. So what's a big deal?
So it's simply a matter of...
There are people in private practices who are subsequently maybe appointed to Supreme Court and all that. They deal with the situation. So what is different with Kissi Agyebeng?
Do you agree that there's a level of conflict of interest? And if there is,
what is a conflict?
Hold on.
I don't see any conflict actually.
Okay, so
his life as a private practitioner now could be truncated, and he gets into public office. So what is a conflict?
So all he has to do, but what you're saying, is to say that if I am representing X and Y, I'm simply not going to represent them again, and then he's good to go.
Simplicity, and that's been what's been happening. Wow. The likes of Yoni Colin, they were in private practice. Wow. Subsequently, they have gone into the Supreme Court.
But the mere fact that he's represented these people, that they have some camaraderie, that he works in a certain institution which may be close to some of these people, the conflict of interest, is it limited to what the person is doing? I mean, in future, this person has had very close calls, if you like, or represented these people. That leaves a certain camaraderie between them. Do you feel that if he became special prosecutor, it would ease his work?
For what you're saying, probably we should get somebody from outside of Ghana or some.
Really?
I mean, then we can get somebody who has no relation, whatsoever with any Ghanaian, so that he can pretend over the office. From what you're saying, because once you're a Ghanaian, you live in these circles, you should have gone into some sort of relationship. Once you truncate that and get into public office, you know what you're about.
So for Kissi Agyebeng, he's qualified, perfectly fit for the job. It's just left with, per your own words, for him to cut ties with some of these people, and he's good to go. Your final reaction.
Do you know what Machiavelli says? The human beings are greedy of wants and needy of gains. As long as you shower your blessings upon them, they are all yours. That is enough as a response to this.
Could you repeat that? Niccolo Machiavelli.
Yes. The human beings are greedy of gains and needy of wants. As long as you shower your blessings upon them, they are all yours.
Well,
as long as you shower.
A word spoken in silence will get to its intended ear.
Let's wrap up with the state of carnage on our roads. And this is no laughing matter, what we are getting into. Like I was saying, day in, day out, we have this issue of people dying on our roads. Partly it's owing to bad roads. Partly it's owing to bad driving. Sometimes it's owing to poor lighting. I mean, there are myriad issues. How is Parliament, I mean, you're fully aware of these matters. How is Parliament reacting to this? Even the work of the committee in charge, but how is Parliament reacting to this? Now, you are in Parliament, he's a former member, so I'll put it squarely at your feet.
Well, first and foremost, I guess in the intro you indicated I serve in two committees, that is Trade and Public Accounts. I have gone through the reports of the Auditor General, and we shall start our public sitting very soon. It is shocking, particularly public servants and civil servants, what they engage in. In this country, it seems to me that when we talk about corruption, the focus is just on political corruption. Don't get me wrong, some politicians are fantastically corrupt, and we see a lot of them in this government. What is significant is the way those contracts are awarded. I can't fathom why a contract of road is awarded to a contractor. Engineers are supposed to ensure that the right thing is done, the concrete, the mixing, everything. Yet within 3 years of the construction, you find potholes on the same roads. These are some of the causes. Because if you drive,
engineers from the local to national.
that's what I'm saying. If some of these accidents, and I have been following your report on this Arrive Alive. Some of these accidents are occasioned by the bad nature of the roads. Not that the roads haven't been constructed, but the bad nature of them. And I think that it is important, all of us, galvanize forces together. And for me, this is one area that we must have a convergence, whether MPP or NDC. It has to do with lives. The way broken vehicles are left on the road. Even though I disagree with this towing system because it's a Zoom Lion thing. And once again, another means.
So you disagree with the towing system?
It's Zoom Lion. It's just to give Zoom Lion more money. And nothing happens.
The towing system is just to give Zoom Lion more money?
Yes, I am aware when they attempted to start this.
That's quite an allegation you are leveling.
Yes, I'm saying that I'm aware.
That's quite an allegation you are leveling. Do you have proof?
Please, I am aware when they attempted to start this when we were in office. And I am aware that I was party to those who was invited to sit in the committees to ensure that this thing, we looked at it. And I knew that Zoom Lion was brain behind it. We oppose it. And this thing
so what do we do to wrap the conversation?
So I'm saying we need to look at how our licenses are given to those who want to use vehicles is very important. 2, what kind of trainings are given to the GPRTU and its members? 3, the lighting system, and you guys have emphasized on it so much. Much has been said about the Tema Motorway, but beyond the Tema Motorway, even within the cities, calculate the number of accidents that have been occasioned as a result of accidents within our cities, particularly in the night. And it can be attributed to lighting. If there is proper lighting system on our roads, even if a vehicle spoiled deep in the night, incoming vehicles will be able to identify that there are vehicles that are parked. We do not have that. Okay. Another very important has to do with the nature of the roads.
Unfortunately, Murtala, we've run out of time. This is all time will allow us to do. I know there's a lot you have to say, but we'll have to come back
There's no chance on propaganda against
this. But thank you very much, gentlemen. Murtala Mohammed is Member of Parliament, Tamale Central, Member of the Public Accounts Committee, Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee. Fuseini Issa is a former Member of Parliament for Kaikwe North. My apologies for that, but very grateful for your time.